Cafe. Anyway, hello.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
We're actually in Podcastro Valley today. This is exciting. It's Mike Matthews. It's FF episode 2291, 2291.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Yes, I had delicious lunch in Cafe Anyway today. Actually, it was something not quite what I did just say. I got a sandwich from Podcastro Valley, and I brought it here and I ate it. It was delicious. The best part of waking up is a sandwich in your cup.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Or in your mouth or something to that effect. So, yes, welcome to the show, Mike's Daily Podcast, FF episode
Mike's
2291.
Daily
2291.
Podcast.
And it's good to be broadcasting from Cafe Anyway. Let's see what's happening. Well, I could go on and on about, let's say, the whole thing going on in Afghanistan, but you've heard everything. You've heard all the comparisons to past things in history. What could Biden have done better? It's time to Biden bash, basically. This is the moment to do it all. So if you're sick of hearing all of that, good, because this is not that. I'm not going to be discussing that at all. I'm going to be talking about avocados and how your voice will change sometimes. That was weird. That's what happens after you eat a sandwich at Cafe Anyway in Podcastro Valley. Now, you might be asking yourself, Mike, what's this all I'm hearing about avocado, and why are you so far away from the microphone? Now you're back in front of the microphone. That's a very good question. It was a long question, but nothing that this guy can't handle answering. Avocados provide superior fat and protein, which plant-based eaters can appreciate. If you are into eating just plants, or if you're not, if you like to throw in a Italian sub sometimes.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The podcast picture is of an Italian sub. A submarine going underwater made by the fine country of Italy. No, it is actually of a wonderful sunset, not in Podcastro Valley, though, in Podcastro Valley, Mont. See it at mikesdailypodcast.com. It's a picture from last week. Maybe I'll do a Podcastro Valley picture next time. But, so, made up of around 73% water, 15% fat, 8.5% carbohydrates, mostly fibers, and 2% protein, it's a complete meal in a fruit. That is a lot of water. And a lot of fat. This is why it tastes so delicious. Oh, Basil loved to eat anything with fat on it. The late, great Basil the Boxer. Yes, he did. Okay. What else it says? It's a complete meal and a fruit. Each tree is a long-lasting community resource. Yes, they last a long time. And each home ranch and urban homestead with adequate space would benefit from planting several trees on a northern or eastern property line. They like the more north-facing, eastern-facing places. Avocados need a big sunny spot to grow. They take a few years to produce fruit. Cover the trees with a white sheet when the frosts happen. You got the Haas. Wait, I'm not saying that right. Wait. Haas? Thought it was Haas. Now I don't know my avocados like I thought I did. There's one called Bacon? Really? There's a Bacon avocado? Wow. Avocados prefer to be planted on a 2 by 3 foot soil mound. Interesting. Well, now I can't remember the... Thank you, avocados. I will study up on you more because you are full of good fats that I need. Your omega-3 fatty acid stuff that I need, the good fats in my diet. And I got that from Edible East Bay. Yes. Because the East Bay is so delicious. I talked to someone today who lives in Texas now, who grew up in San Leandro, and we were discussing Porky's Pizza. It's sort of a landmark in San Leandro where they play bluegrass music. I think on Thursday nights. I don't know if they still do it, but yes, he had a lot of interesting stories about the mafia in San Leandro, and, well, yes, it's something to do with the government in San Leandro, but this is way back when. Very interesting. Incidentally, when I got married, my then wife and I, when we got married, was in San Leandro. So I kind of know it a little bit. Did not grow up in San Leandro, but it's right on the bay. I've taken a lot of pictures from places around that because it's so picturesque, especially when the sun sets. And as you know, I like sunsets. So Melissa, she's a tea-drinking, yoga-loving mama. And she wrote a very interesting thing about trying to make some sense and getting things organized. We're all trying to do that all the time. But one of the things she says is have less stuff. And she writes for Simple Lionheart Life. SimpleLionheartLife.com. When you have less stuff, it's faster and easier to get organized. And because you have less stuff to organize, you can have simpler organizing systems because you don't need to find space for as much. Clearing the clutter and getting rid of anything you don't use, need, or love is one of the simplest and quickest ways to create a better functioning, more organized home. Before even starting to organize your home, always declutter first. Get rid of anything you don't truly need or want, so you have less that needs to be organized, and so you don't end up organizing clutter. Clearing the clutter first will save your time, energy, space, and even money when you start organizing. When you have less stuff to organize, as we go outside a cafe anyway, we bring a cafe anyway, and we're bringing you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. You can buy fewer or even no baskets and bins or totes or whatever, or organizational products. You won't end up wasting money organizing clutter you don't even use, need, or love. Give everything a clearly defined home. Decide on a home or a spot to give each item you're keeping. When everything has a place to live in your home, it's easier to find things when you need them, and it's easier to put things away after using them, helping your house stay tidier and more organized. And store things where you use them. Not only will it make it easier to find what you're looking for when you need it, but it also increases the likelihood of things being put away after you're done with them. If you want your home to stay organized and tidy, it's important to make it really easy to keep it that way. It takes less time and effort to put things away in their spot when their spot is easy and convenient to access. And make it easy to put things away. When it's quick and easy to put something away in its spot, you're more likely to put it away. But there's a lot of barriers keeping you from putting something away. If there are a lot of barriers, it's less likely you'll consistently put it away. And that leads to clutter. Ta-da! Mess. General disorganization. Work with your natural habits and tendencies. Yes, take into consideration that if you tend to drop incoming mail on the table in your entryway when you walk in the door, having a complex filing cabinet in your upstairs office may not work for you. Instead, a basket on the entry table or a simple filing system hanging on the wall beside it to keep paperwork contained, organized, and easy to find when you need it might work better. Be realistic about what works for you. Use what you have. Using containers to divide the spaces you're organizing doesn't mean you have to buy a bunch of expensive containers and dividers. Use what you already have before buying more stuff in the name of organization, because then you're cluttering even more. Give yourself defined space limits. Another great thing about using containers and such to divide the spaces you're organizing is that it can also give you a clearly defined space limit. for different categories of stuff. You get to decide how much space you're willing to devote to a particular category of stuff. Then when that space limit keeps you from accumulating more than you will use, need, or enjoy, that space limit keeps you in check. Another really simple way to organize your home and help it function more smoothly is by labeling the spot where each item lives. That's interesting. Using tags, labels, label makers, permanent marker to label where each item or category of stuff belongs. Then you've got a bunch of stuff written on. And then this goes on to say reducing visual clutter, removing packaging to reduce visual clutter, daily resets to keep your home organized, get rid of your clutter collecting spots. There. That all from simplelionheartlife.com. Yeah, get rid of anything you don't truly need, I guess is the moral of that. And there's if containers and bins you're buying to get organized end up holding and hiding clutter, they aren't helping to simplify your home or your life. They're just giving you more places to hide clutter. One of the things that happens when I'm trying to do all this organizing and cleaning is I start to sneeze. Do you happen to sneeze when you're cleaning?
No!
Oh, well, you must have an amazing nose. Or be wearing a mask. Hay fever or allergic rhinitis? Ah, that's what causes sneezing, stuffy nose, runny nose, watery eyes, and itching of the nose, eyes, or roof of the mouth. Over 19 million Americans in 2013 were diagnosed with hay fever. Seasonal allergic rhinitis occurs in the spring, summer, and or early fall and is caused by pollen from trees, grasses, or woods, or weeds, or mold spores. Perennial or year-round allergic rhinitis is generally due to sensitivity to house dust mites, animal dander, cockroaches, and or mold spores. You can get a prescription and over-the-counter nasal corticosteroid. Let me try that again. Steroid. Those sprays help prevent and treat nasal inflammation, itching, and runny nose. Often a first treatment, they are considered safe and can be used long-term by most people. Odd smells or tastes and most irritation may occur with use. And there are side effects, but they're rare. Prescription and over-the-counter antihistamines block histamine, which is released in an allergic reaction. They can help reduce itching, sneezing, and runny nose, but have less of an effect on stuffy nose. Antihistamines may cause dry mouth, drowsiness, blurred vision, difficulty using the bathroom. Prescription and over-the-counter decongestants mainly help relieve stuffy nose. Oral decongestants can cause increased blood pressure. Ooh, that's not good. Insomnia, irritability, and headache. Don't use a decongestant nasal spray for more than 2 or 3 days at a time, because it can cause worsening or rebound congestion. Other anti-allergy medicines include, cromolyn, leukotriene modifiers, nasal ipratropium, and for severe symptoms, oral corticosteroids. Immunotherapy, that's the allergy shot, that can decrease symptoms and provides an alternative to medicines. There's also allergy tablets, consult your nasal irrigation, sinus rinse, allergy tablets. Yes, consult your doctor for more, but reduce exposure to the allergens with a few steps. Close your windows or stay indoors on dry, windy days. Wear a pollen mask when outside. Well, we're already all wearing masks at this point. Well, most of us, some of us are, depending on where you are. Avoiding going outside in the early morning, as that's when the pollen counts are at their peak. Check daily for pollen forecasts and levels And a dehumidifier, or air conditioning can help reduce the risk of dust mites. Hey, we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Look who's here right now.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Shelly Shoehart, chef supervisor. That was really great hearing all about dust mites.
Yes, dust mites. Wonderful. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. This is Floyd, the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I think the whole thing about allergies is that, Oh, it looks like you have allergies right now. There's this itchiness in my face. My face is itchy. I just want to itch my face. You want to scratch your face because it's itchy. You don't want to Never mind. Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster. What do you think about anything that we covered today? 336mm daily, 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews, daily as in what this podcast has been for a while. We sometimes get interrupted, but we haven't lately, so that's good. And with more on where to chime in, here is A-Frame, who, by the way, is about to have her baby. And she recently posted a picture on her Instagram with her husband and her dog. And so we wish her all the best. And we are excited for her to welcome her child into this world. I think she's having a boy. So congrats to her. All right. Do the honors.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!